Can you give us just your takeaway from what you heard from some folks there?
Well, some interesting things happened. So, of course, we've been hearing some rather broad claims with regard to fraud and improprieties in the election. But what they brought yesterday to the table, I thought that was very good, was specific cases and evidence and affidavits of people who could attest to specific items of fraud. 8,000 people voted that are not real people. 2,000 more people that voted, 2,000, I should say, ballots cast where there was no address discernible, or you can't find evidence that those individuals actually exist. 2 million ballots opened, almost 2 million ballots opened without observation, without authentication of signatures on those mail-in ballots. So I was impressed that they came through with some very specific allegations with some evidence to back it up, because that's been the complaint from the left. And so I think it's very important to do that yesterday.
Do you think the evidence is strong enough?
I think it's strong enough. So previously I thought the evidence was strong enough to do what I would say is similar to a probable cause to get a search warrant or some kind of warrant. I think yesterday what they showed is that there's actually evidence to sustain a lawsuit. And if you can sustain a lawsuit, then the courts would have to really get involved. And also, they would hopefully order a forensic audit in Arizona, which is what's necessary. It's what many of us have been asking for several weeks, to get a forensic audit, because then you would know for certain about those mail-in ballots, which is about 70% of the ballots cast were mail-in ballots in Arizona.
Yeah,
so that's critical. You know the machines as well. You get to the machines as well.
Right, exactly. And during the hearings, so the president had some strong words for Arizona Governor Doug Ducey. Take a listen to what he had to say.
And on top of it, you have a governor named Ducey who just rushed, couldn't have gone faster. He just rushed to sign certificates so that Kelly gets into the Senate as soon as possible. What's that all about? He didn't have to sign.
Do you think that he rushed the certification?
I think that what he did is he failed to in my opinion, take the appropriate action. There were allegations of improprieties. He could have called the state legislature into a special session to order a forensic audit. He could have done that. It would have been done by now, and he could have still certified if he thought it was appropriate. When you have, he wouldn't meet with Rudy Giuliani and his team. He basically won't meet with the congressional delegation and talk to us. And so it just tells to me that he wasn't interested in trying to determine and validate the election. He could have validated the election by a forensic audit. He could have invalidated the election. He wasn't interested in doing that. I'm really, I think it's highly unfortunate that our governor basically certified, knowing that there are questions out there. And oddly and ironically, he did it right in the middle of the hearing.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are wondering. Why would he do it right in the middle of the hearing? There was an odd moment, sir, caught on tape during yesterday's certification signing when he took a call. So he takes the phone. You'll see in a couple of seconds, but he takes the phone out and he silences it. He puts it face down on the table. And many are saying that it was the president calling because the ringtone was "Hail to the Chief." So we don't know this specifically if it was the president. And some are saying that it looks like he maybe just put it to voicemail. Can you tell us about the relationship between between governors like Doug Ducey, Brian Kemp in Georgia, and the president? Because they obviously seem to have some tension.
Well, I think that, I don't know the intricacies of their relationship. I know that I've been disappointed with both of those particular governors because they have chosen not to pursue the anomalies and getting to this issue. And I think the president his patience has run out. I've watched him introduce Governor Ducey repeatedly and talk about what a great governor he thinks he is and supporting him. But the reality is, I'm not sure that was always necessarily reciprocated by the governor toward this president. So I don't know the intricacies of those relationships. I just know that I'm frustrated, as are many Arizonans, that this particular governor wouldn't take time to get to the bottom of these allegations. Because whether these allegations are upheld or not, they will call into question future elections in this country. I don't know how you can have any election going forward where people believe it's one that's true, honest, fair, and transparent.
Yeah, I think that's what all Americans want, right? And meantime, Trump, his team has called on Arizona legislators to take back their constitutional power from the governor and the Secretary of State. Sir, what do you think the chances of that happening?
Well, I think it's important that they do it. I think there is a sentiment within the state legislature to do that, but they can't even get themselves into special session because the governor won't call them into special session, which is a constitutional requirement in Arizona. The only other way to get into a special session is by having 2/3 of the legislature call itself in. And right now, the Republicans have basically a one-seat majority in each house, and the Democrats are not going to go back into a special session because there's a problem. Now, the legislature is set in place, basically autopilot to seat the electors. And so you need to get back into special session or get into court to prevent the seating of electors if that's the course that the legislature is going to pursue.
Yeah, a lot to figure out there. Congressman Andy Biggs, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Allison.